disaster loan for a drought or something else like that. If you have multiple loans, you will be able to see all of your loans in this one portal. You'll get the best experience if you use a computer, but you can do this on a tablet. And then, of course, there are limited browsers that you can use. So, but if your browser is out of date, the great thing is the system will tell you that you're not using a supported browser, and you can either update your browser or download a different one. Important thing to know, you do have to log in at least once every 90 days to keep your account active. If you don't, it will become inactive and you'll just have to reactivate it. So this is what it looks like on the landing page. It's lending.sba.gov, and this is what the page will look like when it loads. If you are a new user and you have never used it before, you're going to click this red button on the bottom left that says register for my SBA. Gina, do you see my mouse? When I'm wiggling my mouse on the screen as a pointer, does that show up on your end?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, great. It's also in this upper right-hand corner, but it's white. So if you have never registered, you'll click register. I will point out, if you previously had, we were advising people to sign up for a different system called CAFS, C-A-F-S. It stands for Capital Access Financial System. If you had already created an account in CAFS, that login transfers to this system, so you don't need to register. You would just click sign in, and you could sign in using that same user ID and password that you created in CAFS. But otherwise, if you don't have a CAFS account and you've never used it, you're going to click register for my SBA. And then, so existing borrower, if you click sign in, this is what it's going to look like, and that's where you'll put that CAFS login. But if you're a new user, it's gonna, and you click register an account, this is what it's going to look like. So it's pretty self-explanatory, but I'm still gonna show you the screens and walk you through it. So you're gonna enter just some basic details here. It's gonna be your name, and you're going to create a username. So you make this up yourself. It can be something specific to your business or to you personally. And then you're going to create your password. The passwords are kind of a challenge because they do have to be 16 characters, upper and lowercase, special character, and a number. I have to do the same thing for work for our system because I access a similar system daily. I have found that if you'll create some sort of system to where you can just like change a certain part of it, you know, every time, and where it follows like a logical sequence, that will help you. That's just my suggestion here. But you'll fill this in, it's unique to you, and then you'll click next step in the bottom right hand corner. And then you're going to put in your date of birth, your social, and your loan number. And that's why that social and loan number are so important. They are going to match it to the loan account. And they're also going to pull in all loans that are associated with that social security number. So that's how you're going to see all of the loans that you have. Now, if you're a member or owner of a business and you were not listed on that prior loan, it's not going to be pulled in to your account, okay? Only the loans where your social was associated with the loan. One thing I would point out is for COVID EIDL loans, you had an application number that started with 33, and that is not your loan number, and it will not work here. So if you've tried it before and it's saying your loan number is wrong and you're entering that 33 number, that is probably why. So you enter it in, and again, you're going to click that red button that says next steps. And then, of course, we have to do the security question. So you'll choose a question from the drop down, and then you'll type in your answer. And the good thing is that the answers are not case sensitive, so you don't have to worry about that. And then once that's done, you'll click, once you've answered all three, this complete registration button will go live and it'll turn red, and you can click complete registration. Okay, so here you have to put in your phone number and a mobile, and then also your email, and you'll confirm your email. You can put it in twice. The nice thing about this is it doesn't have to be the email that you originally put in your application. So if that email is no longer good, or you don't have access to it, or it was someone who worked for you and they're no longer with the company, you can put your own email here, and then you'll just fill in, you know, your address and all of that. The address is important because that will affect where your statements are mailed to. And then once all this is filled out, again, that button will go live. You see, everything that has an asterisk is required, and so you have to fill that out, and your button will not go live until you fill out everything with an asterisk. So once you do that, we're going to send you an email, and we're going to have a thing on your screen that says verify your email address. So you'll go to your email, the one that you entered on the previous screen, and you'll get an email from SBA CLS. It may go to your junk, so go check your junk folder if you don't see it in there. And there's a link embedded in the email. I know this screen's kind of hard to see because I put a lot on here, but you'll click the link in the body of the email. It'll direct you back to the portal, and you'll click the red button that says confirm. Please confirm that this email is an email address used for this borrower, and you'll click confirm. Once you've done that, it's going to take you back to the sign in screen, and you can click sign in. You'll put in that username and that password that you set up, and then don't miss this little box here. You have to check the box that says you agree to our terms. And then the sign in button will go live once you've clicked that box, and you can click sign in. So once you're able to access your portal, what can you see in there and what can you do? So you're going to have a dashboard, which is like your home screen or your summary screen when you first log in. Right here on the left, it'll have your username, and you'll be able to see the phone number, email, and then the address associated with your business. And you can see your total loans. You can click make a payment. I really want to point out this message center here in the top center of your screen. In the past, we've been instructing you to email your servicing office. You can now contact SBA directly here in this portal. So we really like that. And then on your home dashboard, all of your loans will be listed here. In this example, there's just one loan on the screen, but if you have multiple loans, they'll all be listed here. And then this blue box has some things you might be interested in. And then you see at the top right-hand corner, there's also a navigation bar with a drop down for loan accounts, where you can click that and click on specific loan accounts. So if you go to loan accounts and you pick the loan you want, once you're in a particular loan, so like on the screenshot I have here for you, we're in this loan, see the blue column on the left, you can click through each of these different screens based on what you're trying to accomplish. So if you're on loan summary, and then you can see, look, there's another over here on the right, there's another navigation drop down. Once you've reviewed the loan summary for this loan, if you've got another loan and you want to see its loan summary, you can click the drop down there and choose the next loan that you want to look at. But it'll tell you on the summary, like right here, it tells you the loan type. So you can see this is your COVID EIDL loan, right? As opposed to if you had a 7A loan and you want to know, am I looking at my 7A loan or am I looking at my COVID EIDL? And you don't have to have your loan numbers memorized. You can just look there and kind of quickly tell what you're looking at. And another great thing is many of you may have received an increase. So you received an initial loan amount and then you received an increase later on. And so you will see here your initial approved amount, and then you'll see any increases, and you'll see your total loan amount, and then you'll see your outstanding balance. There shouldn't be anyone here that has any total undispersed. That's just an example. It does show the address here where paper statements are going. I will tell you, most of you know that you have not been receiving paper statements. You'll only receive a paper statement if for some reason you miss your regularly scheduled payment and you're late, and then we'll send you out a reminder. Otherwise, your statements are going to your email. And so they've been going to that email that you put on your original application. If you set up my SBA loan portal and you put in a different email, we'll start sending them to that email address that is associated with the loan in the portal. So if you're stressing because you haven't been receiving statements, go back and check your email, check your spam and your junk folder and see if maybe it's in there, but that's where we've been sending notices. Here's a better picture of that loan summary screen. I know it was kind of hard to see before, but again, it's your loan number, loan type, loan amounts. This also shows, so when you're in a particular loan on the right, you can see your interest rate, how the daily interest accrual. You can see your accrued interest, so that's what's accrued during this deferment period, and your total interest. And then you can also see what interest was paid in prior years. That's not going to be there right now, but it will eventually populate. And then you can also click the button to get a payoff balance. Well, you can see your payoff balance. Right now you can't, I don't think right now you can print like a formal payoff letter that you would give to your lender, but you can see your payoff balance, and then you can calculate a payoff with this daily interest accrual. We do typically recommend that you add 10 days of interest if you are going to pay it in full, just to give us time to get it processed and applied. But again, just an overview, it will say if you're past due, there will be an alert at the top that says payment past due, and then down at the bottom here you can see past due since. So like in this example, this loan was supposed to start making payments on November 27th, and it looks like they haven't made a payment. If you have a smaller loan under a certain threshold, and I don't remember the amount, I think it's 200,000, and you are having trouble making your payments, there is a one-time hardship accommodation plan that is available to you. It allows you to make a reduced payment for 6 months. Not no payment, it's a reduced payment. I think it's a minimum of 10% of the original payment. If you have a smaller loan, you can just click a button here to request it through the portal. If you have a larger loan, you have to formally request it through the service office. So it's still available to you. You just can't request it here through the portal. So depending on your loan amount, you may or may not have an active button here to request enrollment in the hardship accommodation plan. You can only use it once. So I recommend, waiting until you really need it to click on that. So again, if you're looking at this blue column on the left, it tells you you're viewing this loan number, and here's on the left. So we looked at the loan summary. If on the left we clicked on statements, this is what it would look like. Oh, nope, sorry, it's gone on payments. So if you clicked on payments, here's what it would look like. Again, if you have multiple loans, you can use this drop down to toggle between the loans. Let me give you a better screen of what it looks like. So on payments, you have two tabs here. You have payment history and payment activity. Under payment history, you can see all of your past payments, when they were made and when they were effective, when they were processed and when they were effective. There is some lag time between when you make your payment and when it posts. So, but we do give you credit. So we make it effective the day you actually made the payment, right? So you're not accruing more interest during that time. If you look over here, you'll see the amount of the payment, and you'll be able to see how much went to principal and how much went to interest. Remember, I did say that these loans were deferred for 30 months, but they were accruing interest. And so depending on the amount of your payments and the size of your loan, it will probably be some time before those payments start getting applied to principal. So your first several payments are probably going to all go straight to interest. And that is why, because our payments get applied first to any interest that has been accrued, and then the rest goes to principal. Because of your deferment, where you were accruing interest but not making payments, you have a large amount of accrued interest. So those initial payments are going to go straight to interest until you get that caught up. And then you'll start seeing the split where payments are being applied partially to interest and then partially to your principal. So that's what the payment history looks like. If you click this other tab that says payment activity, this is where you'll see any pending payments. Like I said, there is a lag time between when you make it and when it posts. So if you think you've made a payment but it's not showing up on that payment history tab, click on payment activity and you can see if there's anything pending right here. And you can also view details. If you click on that view details, that little red box, it'll give you more information on the actual payment. Tax forms, you will be able to print your tax forms in here. Again, if you have multiple loans, use your toggle to click between your different loans to find those. Messages at the top. So if you have messages, you can click top right for messages, and you'll be able to see any messages here from SBA. You'll be able to click on them and apply to those. Again, that's on the top menu bar, or if you're on your home screen, that's where you'll see it. I'm going a little out of order here. I guess I got my slides kind of wonky. Back to that summary screen, if you click on statements on the left, again, you can toggle between your different loans and you'll see your statements. There's nothing listed here on this example, unfortunately, but on yours, you should see your statements there. Again, on your loan summary, just the functionality here is you can see your loan status, you can see your balance, due dates, payment amounts, just kind of re-summarizing that. You also, this make a payment now, they've got that everywhere. So if you're in here, you want to figure out how do I make a payment, just click one of these buttons. It's over on the blue column on the left. It's up here in the top right-hand corner. If you are trying to create your account, My SBA Portal, and you're having a technical problem that needs IT assistance, call this phone number here, this 833-572-0502, and they should be able to help you, or you can email that team at cls@sba.gov, and they can help you with technical issues. I do not have technical access to the program, but if you're stuck, I might be able to help you figure out what the problem is. So you're welcome to call me as well if you can't get through to either of these numbers. I'm going to skip this slide. This is for those nonprofits who do not have an individual social security number associated with their loan, or if you're a business. There were some businesses that applied with EINs only and didn't actually end up with a social attached. So this is just telling you to email that to your servicing office and ask them to add that to your account so you can sign up. If you have questions about your loan, who do you contact? This is probably the most confusing thing for people. Again, if you need technical assistance with the My SBA Loan Portal, you're going to call that IT team. That's the 833-572-0502. But if you just have a customer service question about your loan, so the top one is IT support. You can't log in, you can't create a login. But once you're in, if you just have questions about how do I navigate it, I'm trying to make a payment, but it's not going through, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Or if you just have general questions about your loan, or you want a copy of your loan documents, that is your COVID EIDL Customer Service Center. And their number is on the screen. It's 833-853-5638. And their email is real easy. It's disastercustomerservice@sba.gov. So we also, if you have other loans, they may possibly be with other servicing offices. You probably will not use those. If you have other loans and they're not disaster loans, they're probably through a bank lender, and you would actually contact your bank for those. Previously, the COVID EIDL Customer Service Center, it's pretty new. In the past, they were split between two servicing offices. We have one in El Paso and one in Birmingham, and they were servicing these COVID EIDL loans until we were able to get a special servicing office set up just for COVID EIDL. So if you did anything in the past, you might have worked with one of these offices. I can tell you now, all of the COVID EIDL loans have been transferred and centralized in that COVID EIDL Customer Service Center. Okay, so even if you worked with El Paso in the past, you're going to be working with the COVID EIDL Servicing Center now. So save their information. And then, of course, you can find the district office nearest you. If you're in the Amarillo area, that will be us in Lubbock. And so we can help you as well. This screen prompted me something about payments that I wanted to tell y'all that I'm trying to remember. Maybe I'll think about what it is in a minute. You know a little bit about our resource partners. Gina told you about the Small Business Development Centers, who's hosting this call today. We also have SCORE. These are business mentors. They are other people who are in business as well, and they can act as one-on-one mentors. And they provide a little bit different service than the SBDCs do. It's a little less technical, a little more informal mentoring. We also have a procurement technical assistance center, which for some reason I did not list here. So if you're interested in doing any kind of government contracting or anything like that, We have assistance for that as well. We also have assistance for veterans, and we have a community navigator program in Abilene. Might be a little bit out of range for most of y'all though. You can find local assistance by going to sba.gov, and at the top there's a button that says local assistance. You click that and you can do a zip code search. I wanted to talk, while I have a captive audience, Gina, if it's okay with you, I wanted to talk about Thrive a bit, but do you want to stop and see if there are any questions first before I do that, or how would you like to do?
You can sure do that, or if y'all have questions, you're welcome to type them in chat, or you can unmute yourselves and ask. But while they're prepping any questions, you want to go ahead and go over Thrive?
Yes. So SBA in the past has hosted a program called Emerging Leaders. They have rebranded the program as Thrive. That part doesn't really matter, but what's exciting for us is that we are going to be hosting our first cohort in Lubbock. This will be the first time that our district office has been able to host one of these programs. We're really excited about it. It's like taking MBA level classes. It's basically an executive leadership training program for small business owners. The program itself is valued at around $15,000, but it is free for qualifying businesses. It will be a hybrid program. It is going to be mostly virtual, but there will be 8 in-person sessions that are going to be in Lubbock. So if you want to do it, you need to be willing and able to travel to Lubbock for those sessions. There'll be 8 4-hour sessions, so 8 half days. To qualify, your business must have annual revenues of at least $250,000, must have been in business for at least 3 years, and have at least 1 employee other than yourself. If you're close to any of those requirements and you say, man, I really want to do this, but I don't quite, maybe you're 2 years and 9 months, or maybe you only have 200,000 revenue, you're still welcome to apply and let us look at it and see if there's a way we can work with you on that to get you in the class. The important thing though is the deadline to apply is April 30th, and there are only a limited number of slots. So if you're interested, please apply. You can scan the QR code on your screen. You can open the camera app on your phone and scan that, and it will take you directly to the application page, or it's sbathrive.com is the webpage. You can go there and you can apply. The program's going to run from June 20th through December 20th. And like I said, the in-person sessions are going to be in Lubbock. But there's a variety of different, business development level classes, very much like MBA style topics and classes. It's all free to you. It does not, my understanding is it does not have to be the owner that participates. So if you have a member of your management team that you want to send to, or if you're doing succession planning and you have a younger person in your company that you want to send for this training, it's just the business has to qualify, and then you can send whoever you want to represent. So if you're interested, please apply for that. And then also, we are on Twitter. That is how we get our information out the fastest. So if you would please follow us on Twitter if you want to keep up with us and what we have going on. Again, there's a QR code on your screen. You just take a picture of it. Well, you don't take a picture of it, open your camera app and aim it at that QR code, and it'll take you directly to our Twitter page. Same thing with our website. If you're interested in going to our local district office website, we are also starting a new email distribution list. And if you want to be added to that, give us an email. Email us and let us know. We will get you added to that list. Our email is lubdo@sba.gov. So LUBDO, it stands for Lubbock District Office. I know it's kind of weird, but that is our email address on the screen. If you'll send us an email, or you can call us at that phone number and tell us your email address and that you want to be added, and we'll get you added to our email distribution list. That is currently how we're sharing information with the public about local events that are going on. So, and hate to change that screen, but also there is a link to a survey and another QR code to jump to the survey. If you would fill that out and tell us how we're doing, we would really appreciate that. And that's all I have, Gina.
Thank you so much. Well, if anyone has questions, please feel free to unmute yourself if you don't want to do that. You can type them in chat. And speaking of surveys, whenever you have federal money, you have to survey everyone about everything. So I am also going to launch a survey, and I'll share the results of that with you, Jennifer, if y'all will let us know how we did today. And I really appreciate everybody being here, and I appreciate you, Jennifer. And I love that we actually got to see the screenshots of the system and how it works. And I know that you had way more experience than I did, but got to walk with some clients through setting up their EIDL loans and applying. And I know that it was something SBA had to crank out like overnight, but that system was super clunky. The system is clean and beautiful, and I'm so excited that we have something like that to use and share with clients. So thank you.
Yeah, I think it's very self-explanatory. Once you get in, you'll be able to navigate. Oh, I remember the thing I was going to tell you. So as y'all start using it, you call us and you tell us all the wonky things that it's doing. So I will say we are still building the page out. And so as we get feedback on it, we're adding new things. So the screens may change slightly as they add more functionality to it. I did have someone tell me, though, they were doing it on their tablet and they wanted to they were actually 3 months behind. They didn't realize that they were supposed to have started making their payments already. And so they were 3 months behind. They wanted to make three payments worth. Well, their payment was only supposed to be $49. So they were entering an amount that was 3 times that amount. And they were calling me in a panic because they're saying it won't let me pay more than that. But the message on the screen was actually saying, this payment you're trying to make is more than your minimum payment. Are you sure you want to make that payment? And so, check your payment amount before you proceed. And so they were thinking that it wasn't letting them, but really all they had to do, it was just alerting you to make you aware, and all they had to do was click proceed. So,
Okay.
so if you get that and it tells you you're making more, just make sure that you're okay with the amount and then click proceed. Another thing to know that's really important, making double payments or paying extra does not advance your next payment due date. So you will have, so say you want to go in there and you want to make a large principal pay down of 10,000. Well, you can't make a principal pay down. You want to make a large pay down of 10,000. It's going to get applied first to any interest that has accrued, and then the rest will go to principal if it's more than the accrued interest, but you'll still have a payment due on the next month. So very important to keep in mind, paying extra or double payments does not advance the next payment due date. So you still have a payment due every single month. Another functionality thing, currently you cannot set up reoccurring payments in the system. You can only go in and make a one-time payment. It's coming, okay, it eventually, maybe by the time you get in there and sign up, it'll be there because it's any day now. But you can go, there's another website, pay.gov is the federal government's site for collecting payments. This My SBA lending portal actually connects with pay.gov in the background. So you can go to pay.gov directly and you can set up your reoccurring payments through pay.gov. Eventually that will be migrated over into the system where you can manage it here. And then also, if you want to just set it up as automatic payments through your online bill pay, you can do that as well. And we can get you the information for like the address that you need to put on there for where to have your bank send those payments if you want to do it that way. But just keep in mind, most banks actually cut a check and mail it. And so there will be a little bit of lag time if you do it that way. Our preference is that you sign up for this portal and make it this way so they get applied in a more timely manner.
I mean, really, anybody who has a credit card and carries a balance on it, it sounds like a lot of the payments work exactly like it would on a credit card. And really, the whole portal looks a lot like when I'm logging in to pay my own card. It's really simple and easy to use. So thank you. All right. Well, I don't see any questions in chat and nobody has unmuted. So thank you again, Jennifer. You all will have Jennifer's contact information because we'll email those slides out to you. So she's always been so wonderful to help us when we need anything. And then you've also got the national result or the national phone number on those slides in case you need anything from the customer service center. So thank you all for being here. I am actually working to get May's Lunch Club set up. I think we're going to have May is National Mental Health Awareness Month, and we do a lot of work in the office with our small business clients to help them help their employees and themselves with mental health and culture, especially after COVID. It was rough on everybody being out and then having to come back in the office. So we will have a panel of local small business and nonprofit executive directors talking about some of the best practices in their own organization that supports the mental health of their employees and yourselves, because you absolutely cannot forget yourself. So thank you all for being here, and we will see you in May. Have a wonderful rest of your week.
Thank you. Bye.